What's up, guys? Welcome to the Nerd Talk podcast, where we dive into all things pop culture, creativity, and extraordinary journeys of your favorite talents. I'm your host, Remington Keyes. Today, we got an exciting episode lined up for you. I'm thrilled to welcome Flynn Ayers, a rising star who's recently dazzled audiences with her audition for America's Got Talent, right? Correct?
Yes, I just auditioned for America's Got Talent.
And you took home the win for Bethlehem's Got Talent, too, recently.
Yes. Out of, I think it was 50 people.
50 people, wow.
Mhm.
That's a lot. Was that intimidating for you to do?
It was initially, but as soon as I got on stage, I just kind of let all that go and immediately thought, I'm here to have a good time. And I think everybody else is here to have a good time. And if I happen to win, then it's by coincidence. But I'm here to have fun.
That's awesome. Let's just walk through your journey of choosing your sing career and then going from doing it regularly to like going to perform and then winning. What was your journey like?
So I've been singing before I could talk. My mom's been teaching me piano when I was little, and then she said I had eclipsed her. Um, Same with guitar. She started teaching me guitar during COVID years, and then I just learned from listening to other artists and kind of adapted from there. Kind of took it and ran to write my own stuff,
Hmm.
and I've been classically trained for the last 2 years. So operatic pieces and soap operas and all those arias that people sing, it actually really helps with advancing your singing voice. And yeah, so I play piano, guitar, and I play the drums. The drums was the first instrument I ever played since I was 5 or 6 years old. Um, and yeah, I really got started because of my parents.
What do you think is the most challenging part of going into the entertainment industry with singing and stuff? Like, does it affect your social life a lot? I know when I was doing acting, like acting was like the most important thing that I was doing, and it did affect me going out with my friends sometimes or partying. So, what do you think is the most challenging part about this journey?
I think it's definitely keeping a very healthy balance between the performance life and your life, because you really want to be like down to earth. When it comes to like your friends and stuff, you want to make time for both things in your life. Um, but it is very difficult sometimes to find a way to hang out with your friends and also make time for like music, but I just kind of have to force myself to sit at a piano or a guitar at least an hour a day trying to write something
Hmm.
or play something, because an hour a day you get better as far as you go, or you learn something new, or having mistake happens and you kind of learn how that becomes part of who you are as an artist.
Now, let me ask you this: like, when you choose to practice every day, do you like practice songs that you've heard on the radio? Because that's how like the Jackson Five started. Is they would try to mimic the stuff they heard on the radio. So is it like popular songs, or are you more let me create my own thing and do my own thing?
I think it's a mixture of both. If there's been a ton of times where I heard a song and I was like, I want to write a song like that. So what I'd like to do is I like to take the chords of that song, change the key of it to make it sound a little different. Or if you're playing on guitar, change the capo on it. I do that all the time. Eventually, if you keep on playing the same thing over and over again, we call that looping. If you
Yeah.
loop the same chords over and over again, eventually you will find something slightly different. And eventually the strum progression or the pattern progression that you make becomes slightly different and slightly your own. And then you kind of just create things, and you always have a voice memo just in case you forget something, or you go back and you're like, I really like that. I don't know why I changed that. So if you have that, then you can look back and go, yeah, that's completely different and it's now original. And you can still, you know, learn how to play those songs and stuff. And then later on, incorporate some stuff into your own stuff. It really depends on what you want to do.
Now, what inspired you to audition for Bethlehem's Got Talent and then eventually make your way towards, America's Got Talent? Did you ever imagine end up winning? What was the inspiration there?
Well, the inspiration was actually my mom. She's my number one fan, and I truly love her to bits. She's the reason why like I started music in the first place, and she's the reason why I started songwriting and all these things. She's never ever not believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, I would say she was like, "Hey, do you want to try the Bethlehem's Got Talent? It's like an hour away." I was like, "Sure." Because she just happens, I don't know how she does it, but she manages to find like everything, like the Bethlehem's Got Talent and America's Got Talent. So when I auditioned for Bethlehem's Got Talent, the actual like when I actually got there, it was like inside a barn, so it's kind of like a country fair.
Mm-hmm.
So when I auditioned for it, it was the day before the actual audition list was going to be released for the whole entire talent performance, etc. So I auditioned.
Was that intimidating?
It can be, but if you have played for like a long time, you're still gonna have a little bit of nervousness in you, and that's good because that means that it shows that you care.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to say I was a little bit nervous, but not intimidated, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm here to show you what I've got, but also if you say no, then what's the worst thing that's gonna happen?
Right.
You know, the sky's not gonna fall.
Right.
So, and also I like to think when one door closes, another opens, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when I auditioned for it, I really didn't think too much. I was like, I had fun and that's all I can really give to you. And yeah, I'll just hit the ground running. And so we got an email later that night that said that I made it into the audition. And then the day of, the weather was super, super unpredictable. Like it was raining and it got so like the downpour was so terrible. So what we had to do, the contestants and I, we were stuffed into this trailer in the back behind the stage. And we were just waiting for our turn to come up next. And I really wish I could see the others perform because I'm sure every single one of them did great, but I had no idea like what they were doing that I could use or what they were doing that I could do differently. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
really like to do when I look at performances. But when it was my turn to go up, I was social. I made sure to um include the rest of the artists that were performing because you should always be respectful to them. Um and I played my original song and it was very great that people liked it. I think that's one of the hardest things is like playing an original and
Mm-hmm.
not knowing what to expect from the audience. Um, but yeah, they really loved it. And I made sure to just think, okay, what would a celebrity do? So it's kind of like putting on, I don't want to say an act, but just like a different persona
Well, at
to,
this point, you could consider yourself a celebrity. You're doing it like professionally. You're going out there and putting your name out there, you know?
I appreciate it. I don't think I would consider myself a celebrity quite yet, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, but yeah, when I performed, I made sure to give it 110%. I made sure to be interactive with the audience. And I think that's what causes like the judges to really appreciate that is when you're interactive with the audience, because that's something you really can't learn. It has to be something that's authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something like that just can't be taught, no matter how much you wish it could be. You just kind of have to flip a switch that shows that you're engaging with people
Yeah.
and also having fun at the same time. Because if you're having fun, the audience has fun.
Right.
Um, but I finished the song. The judges asked me some questions. They usually gave feedback or something like that. But they're like, "I'd really love to see you with a band." So I'm looking for band members at the moment. And they were like, "Thank you so much," and I was like, "Thank you." And then so I left the stage, went back into the trailer. I was like, "Oh my god, it's so cold outside." So the next person goes up. they do their thing, and of course everybody's listening. And I was like, I just wish I could see how they're performing.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So eventually that was the last person. We all go up, and literally the first thing they said is everybody did a great job. And I'm like, I'm sure they did. And the first thing I thought of was, I don't mind if I win and I don't mind if I lose. The fact that I had fun, the fact that people loved the song, the fact that, they had fun and I had fun and I got to connect with them, that's all I really care about. That's all that really matters to me. But whoever wins, they really deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And so third place winner gets announced, second place winner gets announced, third place winner, the MC says my name, and I was like, that's not right.
You had a double take. Was there
I,
another one that?
yeah, I really had to do a double take because I was like, that's not right. But sure enough, that was my name, and they're like, congratulations to everybody who performed. They have this tradition where the runner up who wins last year,
Mm-hmm.
they perform again the next year. So now I have another gig next summer. So I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome.
Thank you. And then
Um,
I
oh, go ahead.
suppose America's Got Talent just happened to see the video, or like the producers from
Mm-hmm.
America's Got Talent, they happened to see the video. And I suppose they reached out to my mom and they're like, hey, do you want your daughter to audition? Like, we'd love to have her. And then eventually The Voice reached out and a whole bunch of other TV shows. And
So you got a lot of gigs coming up. You got a lot
I
of important stuff.
do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank
What
you.
artists have had the most influence on your singing style?
My singing style. Oh, when I was younger, I loved Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, with Mariah Carey a lot actually, because she has a very similar singing style to mine. So I have a
Mm-hmm.
4 octave range. She has a 4 octave range. She sings whistle notes. I'm able to sing whistle notes, but since I'm like so young, I'm still learning how to do them on command,
Mm-hmm.
not like making sure they don't sound like a dying cat. So, yeah, I'm working on that. But she and I have very, very similar singing voices, I think, in a
Yep.
way. And then growing up, I also really, really loved Ariana Grande. I heard the first ever song I heard her sing was Dangerous Woman. And when I heard her sing those high notes with such strength to her voice, I was like, Mom, I want to sing like that.
That's crazy because when I think of Ariana Grande, I still don't like think of her as a music artist. I still think back Nickelodeon star. Like
Yeah. Like I
it's
was like, that's
crazy.
the same girl who like had the red hair, and then I saw her now and I was like, whoa,
Right.
like so different, but yet like, and now she's doing Wicked, and I can't wait to see that movie
I'm
because
excited to see Wicked, man.
it looks
Wicked,
so good.
that's gonna date the podcast a little bit, but yeah, I love Wicked the musical, so it's like it'd be great to see it like as a adaptation. I'm surprised it took that this long to even adapt it.
Well, I'm sure because of like CGI and also budget, it's like a huge production with like a lot of creative elements in it. And also
Yeah.
you have to find studio, engineering, mixing for vocals. And like it's a lot of stuff that goes into this, especially for the amount of effort and money they're putting into this.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping it's gonna be really good. And also the PR that they're doing and like the merchandise they're doing is so clever.
Oh, it's great. I saw they had the slippers at Walmart the other day, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
those look so good.
Yeah, I know. They had like the Stanleys, they had the pink one and the green one. I was like, oh, I
Hmm.
want the green one. Like they
What?
just look so good.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm done. You can go ahead.
What advice would you give to aspiring singers that may want to follow in your footsteps about doing like these performances and stuff?
I would say definitely have faith in yourself and find the right people in your life that will be supportive of what you want to do. So
Hmm.
my parents, my grandparents, they've always been so supportive. My friends have been so supportive of, you know,
You
everything.
must be like a local celebrity in your high school, you know?
People like to joke that I've been like I'm a little celebrity at school. Honestly, like people could just be like, "Hey, Flynn, how's things been?" And I would be like, "Oh yeah, girl, how you been?" But like in reality, like just come up and talk to me, and I'm like, I'll
Did,
literally just
did
be a
it
person.
boost your popularity?
Um, I think at my school we don't really have a popularity system. I
Oh,
just
really?
happen to like know a lot of people. So I happen to be friendly with everybody and I try to be as friendly as I can with everyone, but I don't think I'm so-called popular at my school. I think I'm just like there.
You exist.
I'm just like the friendly girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the nice girl that's like everybody can like ask for fashion tips on or hair or makeup tips or like
Oh,
the
you're
girl.
definitely the popular girl then. You're definitely the popular. That sounds just like that sounds like the popular girl.
Thank
Um, Now that you've won, what's next step for you? Do you plan on releasing an album, doing a
you.
tour, collaborations?
Oh, I
I mean,
would
I know
love.
that's like way down the line, but stuff happens so quick in this industry. You never know.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to release an album. I have so many ideas. So obviously it's going to be the debut for
Hmm.
Flynn Ayres, introducing Flynn Ayres or something like that. Or something like that. And then for my second album, I was thinking of something called the Insomnia Club, and I had the whole entire idea of how it's going to look. It's going to be like seraphine kind of toned to it, and it's going to be like 50s kind of feel to it with like books all over the place and stuff, because like when you can't like sleep, which is me a lot of the time, there's going to be like music and there's going to be books and
You know
all.
why you can't sleep? And this is like the psychology in me, is because you're such a natural genius and you got all these ideas going on in your head that your brain just overload and you won't let you sleep.
Yeah, unfortunately that happens to me a lot, and I'm just like, can you stop? Like I want to go to bed. Enough. Stop.
Mm.
But I would love to release a debut album for sure. I would love to go on tour. I've always wanted to travel. So I've always wanted to go to Italy, and that's like the language that my family speaks the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so parlo un po' di italiano, and I'm actually relearning Italian because I'm so bad at it. So I'm working on that right now. Oh, my voice went to a different galaxy. Um, so yeah, I've been really working on that. I would love to go to Europe, to Asia, Africa. Literally,
Flynn Ayers, the African tour.
yeah. And then I also have like a bunch of ideas for merchandise. So when I was like 13, 14 years old, I received for Christmas a drawing tablet. I used to really, really like to draw, and now I usually use it for like, merch ideas or clothing line or like shoe line or like different kind of merchandise or like different, album cover looks.
Hmm.
So I've designed a couple shoes. I've designed a couple of perfumes, my own makeup line called Angelic Beauty. And because I feel like Airs Angels is such a cute like fan base name.
Yeah.
So I still think that's the case. So I'd really love it if my fan base eventually becomes Airs Angels. Um, but yeah, I've kind of just like I made headphones, like I designed headphones, I designed like a little Bluetooth like cassette speaker for
I don't
like,
think they make cassettes anymore.
no, it's like really tiny, like this big,
Yeah.
but it's cute. It's just like decoration and it's Bluetooth, so you can play it through your phone. And I just have a whole bunch of different ideas that you know that could
What
be
have
applied.
you learned through this experience of auditioning and doing this now? Like, you're almost at like a semi-pro kind of level here, where you're gonna reach success pretty quickly. What have you learned from doing all this?
What I've learned is definitely when a door closes, another opens. I like to think of it as rejection as God's protection. So
Hmm.
recently I auditioned for a really, really great college experience. and a fellowship experience. Unfortunately, I was a finalist, but I did not make it. But I like to think of it as, they gave really good advice for why
Mhm.
I was not going to be a part of it. And now you can take that advice and run with it to become a better artist.
Right.
But if you do make it, you also still learn along the way. It's kind of like a win-win.
Right.
If you think about it in that perspective, anytime you audition is a new chance to learn.
Um, is there anything you would have done differently of that when you're looking back on your audition experiences?
Definitely give my mom less of a hard time because because she's been in the acting area for like a long time and she knows people who knows people, but every time I look at her I still see her as my mom, not as somebody from the outside trying to look in and help.
Right.
And I've been trying to my best to not be that spoiled like teenager.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just see your mom and you're like, God, you're so annoying.
She's
But
giving you the kick in the pants.
yes, but it's only because she wants what's best for me. And I do realize
Absolutely.
that after the fact, and I'm like, oh my God, you're right. And I always like really, really don't like myself every single time that I disagree with my mom. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, she's right. I know she's right. Um, but I think definitely argue less with my mother because she actually knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she's only there to protect you. Don't you hate it though? When they end up being right and you're like, oh man, I look like such a jackass now.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
man.
it's just like it's the worst feeling, but you have to respect them for it because you're like, oh, they were right.
Final question.
Okay.
Do you have a message to your fans who support you throughout your journey that you would like to say? Any last?
Yeah, of course. So I just want to say thank you to all my fans who have been so supportive over the last couple of years. Um, we are so close to 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which will help me get to the Berklee School of Music for my college. And I really hope that that happens soon because it's junior year. But for everybody who has been so supportive, thank you so, so, so much. Um, it really has made this little girl so happy that she could sing for you and she could play songs for you and that you guys really enjoy it.
Now this is the part of the show I let everybody kind of like plug their social media. So tell my fans where they can find you and support you on your journey.
Yes, of course. So I have a YouTube channel. That's the most important social media for me. Berklee School of Music. It's kind of like the SATs. So Berklee School of Music is really, really responsive to that because it shows your dedication. It shows like people like your craft. So I have a YouTube channel called Flynn Ayers, and that's FLYNNAYERS. So please go ahead and give me a follow. Of course, I also have TikTok. I don't really use that one as much, but that's also Flynn Ayers 0. And I have an Instagram. It's Flynn Ayers 06525.
You got to post more on that Instagram, man. The
I
algorithm is so
know.
much better on Instagram or Instagram and TikTok. It spreads out quicker.
Yeah.
YouTube, man, they favor people. You know,
Actually, I've had more success on YouTube than I have on either platform.
really.
Yeah.
Dude, like on TikTok, my stuff will go like boom, boom, boom up, views. And then I put it on YouTube, it'll be like 500, 600. I'm like, dude, I just got 20,000 on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
That hasn't happened to me yet, but I hope sometime soon for sure.
definitely. Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Loved
you for
having you
having me.
on. And we'll see you guys next time.